Blessings. This is Tarot Incentives. There is someone else has known for a really long time. You have a ton of memories together. However, I'm getting the sense that you haven't been on the best of terms. And this is someone who you're not going to be hearing from. They've decided that it's just too difficult, it's too arduous to continue messing with you. This is someone who has been a bit of either a scam artist or bully or just really as irritating as possible. Let's see why they've been like that. Well, it's because they started seeing themselves as your enemy. They've seen themselves as they have been because they felt this enemy vibe. And they've been feeling this way because it was easy to zero in on you because someone said you had some sort of bad plan. Maybe you were hanging out and partying around drugs or just around something that they could talk about. So they decided that they really wanted to just, make themselves feel better. And they were just so shocked. So they had so much to say. And so they've been gossiping and talking a lot of trash. They also had some really rough. This is their emotions. Emotionally, they've been split into two or split into pieces because they had something that went really wrong with them. Their career really went sour. They wanted to do something. They had this desire to live life in the lap of luxury, and their career plans fell through. And last they had heard, you were doing great, you were doing fine, but then they started hearing this other stuff about you, and so that was their opportunity to just talk a lot of trash. But it's not because they feel like you're all that awful as it was. They just feel like you got caught up. And guess what? It is taking all of the eyes off of them because they felt like you had this happy life. And when they found out you had made some mistakes, as all humans do, they had a lot to say. However, it's really because they're so irritated with themselves. They feel really bad about themselves. You are a distraction for them. Yeah, they wanted some recognition for being able to get this top dog position. Maybe as a government official, they weren't voted in, or maybe they had this job with CIA or FBI. They thought they had it on lock, but they just couldn't. They couldn't get into the part of it. It just wasn't something that worked out well for them. So now, they feel like they are just going to focus on trying to be in a loving relationship the way they feel like you are now. They really don't have anything else to say about you. Again, it was just because they were in a really bad place and it was a distraction for them. And they felt kind of jealous because they felt like you had this happy relationship and you had things going well, doing things that you wanted to do. And that's what they felt like. They wanted to disregard it, but they couldn't. So they just ran with this other story that they were all hyped up on. You're like this, you're like that. And again, they just had a lot of negativity or goals that were unmet within their life. Well, the good news is they do have something else going on to distract them. They have a relationship to work on, and they feel like you probably have one too. And so that is why they just don't have any time anymore to try to cause all of the chaotic vibes and everything. No, they don't need to be on that, and they're realizing that because their life is not going to make them it's not going to make it any easier for them to pick up the pieces of their own life at this time. So yeah, that's why you haven't heard from them. They're kind of like keeping to themselves, and it's for the best. But some of you guys maybe were concerned because you didn't know if they were like laying in their lair trying to figure out something else to say or do. However, again, they have totally you know, decided to, you know, go back in and reassess themselves and keep things to themselves, keep their own business under wraps for a second. So the general energy is one of a new vision. This person has absolutely hightailed it back with their tail between their legs. They are on a new vision to try to focus more on their own issues and stop, you know, throwing yours in the street or trying to put a lot of power into the gossip that they heard about you. It may be kind of hard to believe. Some of you may be have been a little bit irritated, wanting to say something to them. However, they are on this new agenda. And as they say, let the sleeping dogs lie. And if you do that, what's coming out of it is you just in your mind being more patient with people, because you see that this other person has turned the corner on their nonsense, on their irritating ways. And if you do decide to just say something, you know, even though this has passed, if it's, you know, getting on your nerves, just know that you are presence. Saying something is not going to make a difference. You're still going to stand within your presence, your blueprint of liberation. To embrace liberation, you can resort to negating any types of negative feelings that come up with the past, your memories, and this person being so ratchet as they were. And you can free yourself from that. Even if the memory is not completely gone, you can liberate your spirit and just living life to the fullest and just reserving thoughts like that for, you know, another time or for no time at all. Just put them in the past so that you can be at your happiest. All right. Blessings. Smooches. Mwah.